Kia ora, my name is Tyrone,
Talofa, my name is Pasi, and welcome to the Entrepreneur's Edge podcast.
where we help Māori and Pacific business owners win. Welcome to Entrepreneur's Edge with myself, Tyrone, and also Pasi. Today's theme, we're going to be talking about how do you capture leads better with automation. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because even for ourselves, and we've been talking to other people, people have been telling us that they've been struggling with actually how to kind of capture their leads. And, you know, some of the work that I do and some of the work that Pasi's been working on, we've been working on automation. So we thought, why not talk about that today? So I'm just going to jump straight in and ask yourself, like, what are you doing in terms of, I guess, capturing your leads better at the moment?
Yeah, so something I'm exploring, especially thanks to you, is a CRM tool called Go High Level, and I recommend that you look into it because this CRM tool, when I'm talking about CRM, it's an acronym for Customer Relationship Management, right? So it's a tool where you can store all your customer data and information and clients and all the leads that come in as well will just pop up in that pipe drive. It's easy to organize in terms of stage, like is the client just exploring at the moment? Have you presented to them? And, you can put actions in there. And also the CRM tool also has social media posting as well. Yep. So I know a lot of business owners have all these multiple subscriptions and they use one separate one for social media posting, like Buffer, right? Or HubSpot, right? This tool has it all. So you can connect all your social media accounts to the CRM tool and then post from there. So very efficient. And like for a business owner, when they hear that, it's like, whoa. And guess what? It's very cost effective. It's very cost effective. So I've been using the CRM tool and also helping me with automating a few things as well. When I capture leads, pops into the CRM tool and then I progress it from there. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, cool, awesome, bro. And I think we're going to get a bit more into how we're using not only the CRM tool, but how we're actually automating our businesses. But I thought I'll actually talk to that. The reason why automation is actually important is that there's a lot of things that you do as a business owner. Obviously we talk about this a lot, but for people out there, whether you've just started, you might not see all the things that you have to do to actually create a growing, thriving business. But eventually you get to a place where you're like, man, I need to either hire someone or I need to do this a lot better. And so this is where automation kind of comes into the frame where you can actually look at your processes and go, actually, instead of me manually doing all of this, like you talked about, if people are reaching out to you or through online, if you put out these posts, someone reaches out to you, manually we're trying to like, okay, cool, I'm going to reach back out to them or I'm going to try and add them to a database, maybe a spreadsheet. Over time, when you've got a lot of that going on, it can get tiresome. So when we're talking about automation, we're looking at what process do we currently have, and then how can we automate that? So you talked about the CRM tool, bro, that you're using. Give us an automation that you've been working on and like how you're seeing benefits from that.
Yeah, so what I used to do before manually, like if I go way back, and I'm sure a lot of business owners are doing this, is they capture their leads and then they're going back and forth on emails. Right, so they might get a lead through their website or through social media, their advertisement, and then someone pops up on their emails and just going back and forth, and then until you lock a time.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas I am focused on cutting that all out and automating it. So when someone fills in a form, it triggers the workflow or the automation, and then they get an email, right? And the email will say book in a time. And that booking in the time, that calendar booking, is synced in with my existing calendar, so there is no clash. Yep. So there is no back and forth booking in a time. They get a link, which is connected to my calendar. They book in a time, and there, boom, all done.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm focused. In something small like that can save you a lot of time.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, man. Like I do something similar with what I'm doing. And again, when we're talking about automation, we're talking about how can we save ourselves time. It's quite interesting though now, like being kind of in this space and being in business for so many years, I see the value in it. But I remember when I kind of first kind of got onto the scene with businesses and, I don't know about yourself, but for me, I was signing up to all these other business owners and kind of like their master classes and their workshops. And I was like, man, I just signed up to this. And then I got this automated email and all these things started happening. I'll be honest, at the start of it, I was like, man, is this genuine? Like, they're able to kind of just, I'm signing up and then I'm getting hit with like 10 emails. I'm like, how does this person actually have time to do all these 10 emails? Like, surely there's something else going on. Like, is this, what is it? Is it not legit, but is this a genuine way to like, be able to run a business? So I guess for yourself and your own experience, like, obviously you've seen the benefits in automation, but I think about everyone else that might be looking at this stuff and going like, but, like, you'd rather be more personable, especially for us as Māori and Pacific, we're all about how do we, be potentially face-to-face and kanohi ki te kanohi, like, all of that stuff. How have you find kind of going through that experience, bro?
Great question. And I think that's a really important point that you bring up is, with all these automations and there's automatic people getting all these, emails, notifications and stuff, you don't want it to take away from the customer experience, right? You want to be genuine as much as possible. And yes, automation is there to help make things easy for the employer or the business owner, but it's also there to help make the experience more smoother for the customer.
Yeah.
As well. So when you're putting in these automations, just don't think, oh, how much time I'm going to save. I can do this, how much money I can save by automating the process. Think about, cool, how's this going to impact the customer experience? Put yourself in the shoes of the customer. If you're getting those automatic emails and stuff, is it going to make it easy to book in a time?
Yeah.
Right? So just keep that in mind. Keep that balance. So yeah, there has to be a sweet spot between making things easier for you, but also making things easy for the customer experience.
Yeah, awesome. I was going to kind of say something similar to what you just said at the end there, but yeah, it's all about customer service. And I guess when you get to a place in your business where you're starting to be overwhelmed by all the different tasks, automation can be really helpful, but you have to consider what that also means for the client or customer coming through that experience as well. So I totally agree.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that, Tyrone, if that's okay. So I feel like, before you start automating things, map it out first, right? So think of it as like building a house. You got the blueprint, and then you start building the construction, right? Building the automation and the workflow is the construction piece. Before you just build it, do the blueprint. Like map out the process step by step, what the customer has to do in order to get the service.
Yeah.
All right? And then step by step, what you need to do in order to help the customer get to that service. Then you start mapping out, connecting the dots, and then you build from there. So I'm just saying, build out your step by step, understand the process and the journey first, make sure you're clear, and then you start building the automation. The last thing you want to do is go back and start changing things. Hey, like we mentioned before, is like, oh, actually I should have done this way. And then you start playing around and messing up the automation, and it becomes so messy and frustrating, right? So make sure you plan first, and then you start building.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Well, that actually was a good segue, because my next question was going to be, if you don't have any systems at the moment, what would be the best place to start? And my answer to that would have been what you've just shared, is that actually to map it out. Because I think once you start to see the benefits in automation, for me anyway, I jump straight to like, oh man, I want to add all this to my business. But to your point, one of the struggles there is that if you go and build all these things and you haven't mapped it out properly, they start breaking, you wanting to change, and all that energy and time spent on trying to, I guess, evolve it could have been reduced if you actually took time to actually plan that out, right? And I think when we're talking about planning out, for those that are in business and maybe haven't come across certain terms, like there's a thing called like the funnel. Okay, so like good place to start is like, what's your funnel, and how do people go from not knowing who you are to actually becoming clients or customers of you? So that's all part of the mapping out process of actually knowing all of that stuff, because then once you know all of that stuff, that's more or less your pipeline, and then automation, or what you can do with now these tools, is that you can digitize them and actually go, cool, how do we track where people are on these pipelines? But again, jumping straight to these tools, even though, myself and you are using these tools and they're awesome, I always recommend people to actually map it out and figure it out from there first. Is there anything else you think people should kind of consider, first before kind of stepping into automation?
Yeah, I mean, automation can apply even to like social media as well, right? You can have automated ways of distributing your content as well. Like I said, find a CRM tool that can do that as well. Not just wait until you capture a lead, but can help you generate leads as well. So, if you can find a CRM tool where you can post on all platforms, makes it easier, and it's got AI inbuilt in it as well to help you, write your captions and stuff, even better, right? So I think even consider like how are you going to generate leads, and then think about how you're going to capture those leads, whether that's through your website and that. So think about that, right? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, man. I just want to kind of add on to that as well, as I think I kind of step it up to a process. So like for people that are new in business, or even if you've been in business and you're wanting to jump into automation, first it's looking at how are you doing this manually. So actually like consider what are you doing. Then second thing is actually looking at how do you systemize it. So actually how do you look at building systems and processes that go with it? Because I'll be honest, when I first started, I was just randomly doing stuff, and I saw these things around marketing and sales, and I kind of understood that there was next steps or steps after each other. But if I had to be honest, I kind of didn't really understand how to do that as a business owner. So sometimes you just go out there, manually do things and just kind of figure things out, but get to a place where you start systemizing it, because once you start having those systems in process, like Pasi said, then you can look at how do I automate some of these pieces. And the reason I want to say that too is because there's the next piece, and you can actually make it what they call autonomous. So now that we're in the kind of the AI era, there's ways to actually evolve this. Okay, so in order to get there, as someone that's building AI systems for people, a lot of people think that just give AI agents anything and it'll figure it out. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to figure it out for you. But if you've been able to systemize and potentially take it to automation, all of that stuff is the foundation for it to become autonomous. So this has got greater and bigger opportunities, not just within automation, but actually how you can do a lot more stuff with your business if you want to integrate AI as well. So I guess we're at a place now, and I think we've covered a lot. There's probably a lot of jargon that we probably didn't break down, and I guess hopefully over time, or if you're interested and want to know a bit more around this, obviously you can reach out to us and we can talk a bit more around maybe simplifying it or giving you some other ways to kind of understand this. But I guess for you, bro, like now that we've talked about automation and how it can be beneficial for people, what's one thing you want people to kind of remember or know after kind of watching this?
Yeah, look, all of us have a dream or should have a vision, like all of us don't want to be in our business forever. Like one day you're going to have to retire. Like we're all just going to get old and we just can't run it the way that we used to, right? Start having that long-term vision and start thinking, how are you going to start not so much replacing yourself, but moving yourself away from the doing and more on growing the business. In order to move from what I call a treadmill operator, like an owner who's actually, the business relies on you, like you have to work in it, right? If you go away on a holiday, it just crumbles, right? So because everything hangs and falls on you, like think about like how you can start moving yourself away from that. So one of the things that we just talked about here is systemize everything. Like don't let that word scare you. Be like, oh, what's a system? Like system is just basically take out a piece of paper, step by step. What are the tasks that you do in that job? Just list out all the tasks that you do in that job. Doesn't have to be necessarily in any order just yet, right? List down all the tasks, then you put them in order. What goes first, what goes second, what goes third. Once you've done that, and honestly, some people, because we're so used to working in the business, we don't take the time to step back and think about this. It's like just block in time and put it all on paper. Okay, it doesn't have to be in order, like I said. Once you've got that, that's a good starting point. Throw that into ChatGPT. ChatGPT can help you organize that and systemize all those tasks. Once you've got all of that, then you'll be like, okay, cool. What's the tools that I can use to help automate most of these tasks, right? So basically all I'm saying is have a vision of how you can replace yourself. Think of it from that perspective. Okay, how can I replace my tasks over here that I'm doing so I can get back more time? Let that be your driver. Don't just do it just because you want to save time. But like, no, the long-term vision is I want to grow this business and I want to grow myself out of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Definitely does. Definitely makes a lot of sense. And I guess that is the core of automation. Yes, save time, and obviously be able to grow the business because of all these automations. But like having that vision and knowing why you're doing it too is really important. And I guess I just wanted to kind of add to this too is that when it comes to doing automation, now you can set that system up, use ChatGPT, and then think like, cool, I've got something, I'm going to try and automate it. And, I recommend that if you're comfortable and you want to, you can use these tools and do that stuff. But one thing I would also say too is like, once you've created or systemized something, run it a couple of times, like get a few reps underneath and say like, cool, is this actually going to work? Because you might find like, actually, I could have done this a bit better. I could have maybe changed this around, change these a few things around. So the more you can do in terms of prep, understanding your process and systems, the easier it is to like jump onto these tools and go, now I know why I need these tools for certain reasons. Okay, so it's up to you and how you're running your business. Obviously, we're trying to help you win and trying to show or share our stories and things that we've learned along our way. But I think if you are really looking at automation as something that you want to do, it's not to kind of think of like, how can I get to there straight away? It's actually, how can I figure out the processes that are going to work for our business for the time being. Hey, they may evolve over time, but for the time being, trial them out, experiment with them, and then from that you'll go, cool, these are the things that I really need in my business to kind of, like Pasi said, get myself out of doing that stuff, because then I can maybe put my time to other high impact activities. So yeah, that's us. And I want to say that Pasi's probably talked into a future episode around how you can actually be on the business instead of in. So we're definitely going to be talking about that as well. But that's us for this episode. And yeah, thank you for tuning into our Entrepreneur's Edge podcast.
Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more content like this, and so you don't miss out on any future episodes.